You know we had to talk about it. Recapping the drama and reviewing the chaos, one episode at a time. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Reality Recap and Reviews with Pam Unfiltered. This is episode 8 of season 8, Love Island USA. Let's get into it. So the episode picks up after the discussion with Sincere and Melanie. Melanie walks to the fire pit with Aniyah to give her an update, and Sincere takes to the couches near the swing, and he talks to Bryce and Zach. So Melanie goes to the fire pit with Aniyah, and she runs down what she talked about with Sincere. She finds out that Sincere made out with Soul in the speakeasy. And Aniyah is like, what? Oh my God. She's like, yeah, but you know what? She said, I messed up. She said, I messed up prior to this. And she's acknowledging the things that she did. And she's like, you know what? Pretty much he's allowed to explore. She's trying not to cry, but then she really cries and she looks up. She's like, oh my God, well, the trees. She's like, yeah, don't cry. Yeah, well, the trees. And I'm really trying. No, I'm not. I'm going to be honest. I'm not. I have no empathy for her and her cries. I really don't care. I find Melanie to be extremely manipulative and try to create this narrative about her, and she's actually the opposite. I'm sorry. I don't care that she's crying. So then we get Sincere with Zach and Bryce, and he's giving them the rundown of what happened with him and Soul in Speakeasy and in Say Less. And he's like, yeah, I made out with Soul and Speakeasy and Say Less. We already know that Zach already knows about Say Less. And Zach is like, well, how were the kisses? And he was like, they're really, really good. He really enjoys it. He's like, she's very dreamy. Like, he just really wants to get to know and explore Soul. And, they're asking about, what about Melanie? He says, listen, I still want to be in this connection with Melanie, but I also want to explore Soul. So after all that, right, then we get Corbin and is it Corbin? That's his name, right? Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot his name. So then it cuts to Corbin and Kenzie in Soul Ties, and they are having kind of like everybody does this at night and in the morning. They play like this catch up with what's been going on in between. So Kenzie is letting Corbin know that she had a discussion with Kayla, but they actually made out. And he's like, listen, I have no problem with that pretty much. As long as we're both open and we're both exploring, as long as the lines of communication is open, we're telling each other honesty and what's been going on, he's perfectly fine. She's like, oh my God, like I couldn't imagine me having a roster. I can't believe I have me a roster. He's like, a roster? She's like, oh, you know what I mean? No, I know what you mean. See, when you first started off in here, you're the only white woman as far as the girls go. And automatically you thought you would be the most desirable and you were the least desirable. And you felt some sort of way about that. But see, then the producer started throwing people at you, and then it created your quote unquote roster so you can get yourself a big head. That's what you meant by that. Okay. So after that, we get Trinity and Bryce having another conversation. Y'all, I told y'all that Bryce and Trinity were my favorite. That is slowly going away. So in this conversation, and I feel like a lot of their main conversations is the same thing over and over and over again, where Trinity is explaining to Bryce, like, listen, like I'm trying not, and I'm really, really trying not to compare us with the other people, but like they are, when it comes to intimacy, they are light years away and we are not doing anything. And he's like, when you say things like that to me, like he feels like, excuse me, he's not really doing anything, doing enough, or he's a little bit insecure, or he's just not understanding that they have their own journey and their own way, their own path. And he's really like, he pretty much is tired of her comparing them to the other couples. And she's like, listen, I'm not trying to what's the word that she used? I'm not trying to, what is the word that she used? She pretty much, we'll figure it out. I'm not going to sit here clueless like, what word did she do? I'll put it here what she used. So she's pretty much saying like, listen, I'm not saying to you that you're not good enough. You are doing things. I just need more intimacy. I want more affection. I want more intimacy from you. And he's like, why didn't you say that? I'm like, I feel like she says that all the time. Maybe it's me. Maybe she's not saying directly to him. Maybe she's saying indirectly to him. But I feel like she's saying the same things over and over and over again. And he's not catching it. But then again, I'm like, he's a man. You got to be direct with him. So he's like, fine, I'll, definitely be more affectionate with her. Let me tell you something about men. If you youngins are watching, when a man wants a girl, he's going to show it. And this is where I question if Bryce really likes Trinity, because she keeps having the same conversation with him over and over again. And he's not giving her what she wants. So I'm really second guessing him on if he really likes her. I'm just saying. So now we get a conversation with Bia and Gabrielle, and he's pretty much catching her up on what's been going on with him and the other bombshells that happened throughout the day. He said, "Listen, I pulled both women, and yes, I kissed both girls, and Bea is very stone face. I would say she's not giving any emotion to him, but I feel like deep down, after she found this, deep down, even though I'm jumbling my words, deep down, I feel like it hurt Bea that he kissed these two women. She's not showing it on her face because I think she's always used to that. But Gabrielle does not like the fact that she's not giving a reaction like he thought she would. She's giving him stone face. She's like, okay. She's like, you're exploring the connection. Thank you for communicating with that. And he's like looking at her like, no, nothing else. And she's like, what do you want me to do? Like, you're like, we're not married. You said you wanted to get to know them, you wanted to explore. What do you want me to do? But I still feel like deep down, she is somewhat hurt that he kissed those two other women. Because remember, she had the conversation with Melanie upstairs, and she said he's the only one that made her feel that she can be herself and be open and be feminine without forcing it. You know what I mean? So I think she's hiding that from him and not being completely open with him, which I don't understand why she's not. I know there's I'm Beatrice, I'm real, I say it like it is, but at the end of the day, you have feelings. And if he's looking for more openness with you and your feelings, why don't you just show it to him? I don't get it. Maybe she's afraid that he's going to break her heart because she isn't his physical type. Maybe it's that. So anyway, we get Bea, Trinity, and Kennedy, and it's Bea, Trinity, Kenzie, and I think Kayda. And if it's not, then it's Bea, Trinity, and Kayda. And she's telling them what happened with Gabrielle and the two bombshells throughout the day. She's like, he made out with them. They're like, what? And she's like, yeah. He made out with him. He has a problem because I'm not really showing him like a reaction to him telling me that. And she's like, listen, I don't fight for no man. I fight for medals. And I was like, Clark it, but Bea, you need to show a little bit of a reaction. Just a little bit of reaction. Show him that you really care. Just show it. Because sometimes that's what they're looking for. You know what I mean? So after she tells them, we get Melanie coming over, and they're trying to give her the rundown what's been going on. And, saying like Gabrielle, he kissed the two bombshells. Kenzie says, oh, I kissed Caleb. And then here comes Melanie. Sincere kiss soul in Speak Easy. They're like, what? And they're all screaming. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all screaming like that for? Everybody turning around looking at them like, is it really that necessary to be doing all that screaming? And then was just screaming it loud. I'm just like, honey, I'm too old because I could not. I would be like, shut the fuck up. Like, why are y'all screaming like that? Are y'all trying to get our attention? Like, what was the point of that? It was just seemed too much. But then I have to remember these girls are like 22, 23, 24. Like, they're really, really young. So now we get everybody getting ready to go to bed. Bryce and Zach are in the bathroom getting ready, and Bryce kind of mentions to Zach, what's been going on with him and Trinity, and then Zach tells him maybe Trinity just doesn't like you. She doesn't mesh well when it's me, you, and Kayda. It's a different vibe when it's all four of us. I don't think she gets your jokes. I don't think she gets you. And I'm telling y'all, I don't like Zach. I need Zach to go because I don't think he's right for Kayda. Y'all already know how I feel about him and his little words that he was saying to her. Okay? I don't think he is a fan of Trinity. And I don't understand why. Maybe because she's bold in her opinions, but then I'm like, Kayda is too. It's just a tone of voice that may be different. I don't know. I'm just not here for Zach at all. So everybody's going to bed. The lights go out. They run down who's in what bed. But baby, they pan over to Miss Kenzie and Corbin. And they look like they was doing a little something, something. Now, if you really just look at it and then keep it pushing, it looks like they both sleep with Kenzie's mouth open. But no, 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 no. Kenzie's mouth open with her fingers in her hand because what? Why? Because Corbin was stroking the string. Not stroking, but he was clucking the string. That's right. That's what he was doing in the bed. But see, everybody on social media is talking about that, but everybody fails to talk about what Kayda and Zach was doing. Yes, they were next to them and Kayda was choking the chicken. Choking the chicken. I don't know if you guys, and this is not the first time she's doing it. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when Kayda is like kissing on Zach's face, that is exactly what she's doing. And I'm like, I don't understand how people could be that intimate so close to other people. It's so weird to me. I just could never do that, especially when you're doing the licky licky, the sticky sticky. Like people can hear that no matter how much you try to hold it. If they're not hearing, they're hearing this. They're hearing that. They're hearing that clap right there. That clap. So it's just like, I don't understand why, if y'all want to do that, won't y'all go outside of the dorm room and do it somewhere else? Why do you have to do it laying down, sleeping with the other people, around you? It's very weird to me. It's just honest. It's honestly disgusting. So now we get the next morning. We get Kenzie, Trinity, and Aniyah in soul ties. And Trinity's like, I really like Bryce. I'm just asking him for more affection. I'm really starting to pretty much let her walls down and be very vulnerable with him. She really likes him, right? And Kenzie's telling her and telling Aniyah, she really likes Caleb, but she really likes Corbin, but her and Corbin are on another level because they've been physically intimate, as we all know, because we've seen it. And I think also as a result of why later on in the episode, why she has an issue with Melanie. Okay. So now we get Zach and Bryce, and they're kind of like a little ways from soul ties. And Bryce is talking to Zach a little bit further on what happened with him and Trinity. And he says, me and Trinity, we had an argument last night. And this is where I get a little annoyed with Bryce. You have to be careful on specific words that you use when you're talking about Black women, right? He says their conversation was an argument. And I don't understand how you can use that word when you and Trinity were just having a conversation. This woman did not elevate her voice in any negative way, and neither did you. You guys had an adult conversation, and to call it an argument is so microaggressive. It's so disgusting. And then you got Zach's ding dong ass over there talking about, oh, I don't think Trinity likes you. I think she's trying to pretend, she's trying to force herself and pretending that she likes you, but I don't think she likes you. Zach, why would you say that? Why would you say that? What was the purpose of you saying that? Is it because you don't like the dynamic of you four because maybe she doesn't get y'all humor? This is a full Black American woman. Despite Kayda being Black, she was born and raised in New Hampshire, which is predominantly white. So her humor might be close to theirs. Is that the reason why? Because she doesn't fit into your little circle, your little triangle to make it a square? But for you to say that was disgusting. And Bryce, you're 29 years old and you let this little One Direction 26-year-old manipulate you and put that in your thoughts where you're questioning you and Trinity is crazy. So now we get Soul and Jen in the couch areas, which is closer to Say Less in the dock. And she's just telling Jen, how are we going to get to know these men when they all come off like closed off? Like you really just can't sit down and have these conversations with these men. Jen somewhat kind of understands, but she really doesn't understand because she has conversations with Gabrielle and with Zach. But we all know the only discussions that Soul has been with Sincere, and that has come with a lot of drama. So as she's talking to Jen about these issues, they cut to Melanie and Sincere in that little seating nook, right? And she's looking over to them, and while they're having their discussion. Now, this is the way the seating is, right? Sincere's back is to Soul. Melanie is across from him, and Melanie can see everywhere back behind Sincere, which is the kitchen, which is a lot of the seating, the swings, the couches. She can see all of that, right? And she knows that Soul is looking at them when they're having the conversation because she actually mentions it. So during the conversation with Sincere, she tells him straight up, last night when you told me that you were kissing Soul in Speak Easy, you hurt my feelings. She said, I know I've done things, but never to this extent. Like, you really hurt my feelings. I understand that you're going to explore, but I did not think exploring meant kissing. And he's like, yes, I wanted to explore. I'm sorry that I hurt you and then I kissed her. She asked him again, how many times have you kissed her? And Speak Easy, he's like, oh, once or twice. I kissed her twice. No, you have not. You've kissed her way more than that, Sincere. You've kissed her even in Say Less. Now, see, Melanie don't know nothing about Say Less. She gonna find out about Say Less. She's either gonna find out from one of the guys spilling it to one of the girls, or she's gonna find out during movie night. But she's gonna find out about Say Less. And I don't understand why in this conversation that Sincere is lying to her. I don't understand why he's just not honest with her. Listen, I want this connection with you, but I really want to explore Soul. But he's not saying that. And he's not saying it directly. Do you get what I'm saying? She's like, listen, if you want her, then you can go be with her. But you're not going to be with her. You ain't going to be with me. Very aggressive. And you could tell he's kind of like retracts back. He laughs a little bit, but I think it's from being uncomfortable. Because at the end of the day, he doesn't know. He knows, but he doesn't know how she's going to react if he's truly honest with her. And I think he's kind of scared of it. Right. So she says that she's like, listen, if you're going to be with her, then you're going to be with her. He's like, no, I want this connection. I want to be with you. I needed to see what that was or see what that is before I can fully commit here. And she said, if you're going to explore, you're going to kiss her again? And he's like, no, I'm not going to kiss her again. I'm not going to really talk to her anymore. And she's like, fine. Now, like I said, right? Melanie can see Soul. Sincere cannot see Soul. And the whole time that they're having this conversation, Soul keeps going back and forth, looking at them have the conversation. So when he tells Melanie what she wants to hear, she jumps on top of him. Not because she's happy with what he said, just because she wants to let Soul know that this is my man and we're in a good place. Now, mind you, she's doing all this manipulation. She can't see Sincere's face when they're hugging. And he looks like in such despair. His face is just like what Nick looks like when he was on the date with Tierra. It was just like, what am I getting myself into? What am I doing? Do I tell this girl the whole truth? Like, what am I doing? Am I stuck? Like, what's going on? That's what his face looked like. So after this little conversation, right? Then we get a conversation with Casey and Aniyah. I just feel like the conversations with Aniyah and Casey is all the same. It's just like, it's always the reassurance, and I want to see more from them. I really want to see more, and I feel like production is not giving it to us, and I don't know why. I don't know. It just I don't know. I'm just like, I'm kind of over it. I want them. I don't know. Maybe they should just split up and explore other people. I don't know. I'm just over the reassurance conversations. So after their conversation, we get to Sincere. What is Sincere doing? Sincere is making a beeline to Soul. Yes. So he pulls Soul for a chat. And where does he take Soul? He don't take Soul to the dock. He don't take Soul to Speak Easy. He don't take Soul to Say Less. He don't take Soul to the lounge tables. He don't take Soul to the fire pit. He takes Soul to Soul Ties. And they're sitting there, and when they get to Soul Ties, it's immediate natural connection and intimacy. He is sitting like this. She is sitting in between him. He's like, do you need a pillow to prop you up? She puts a pillow prop you up, and they begin their conversations. But within the conversations, they are kissing. They are holding hands. He is rubbing the side of her neck and her face, holding her head. She's doing the same. They kissing each other's hand. Real intimacy that we have yet to see between him and Melanie. They are having random conversations. He's giving her, reassurance. This is the stuff. This is what's happening between him and Soul. A real connection. So while they're up there, Melanie peeps that they're up there, and she's trying her hardest not to get upset because he told her he wasn't going to do what he's doing. So what does Melanie do? Melanie pulls Corbin for a chat and takes him to say less. They're having a conversation. She's like, I've been checking for you. He's like, yeah, I've been peeping you. I've peeped that you've been checking for me. You know what I mean? And then he goes, so what do you want in life? And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's self-explanatory. What do you want in life? And she's like, well, in a relationship, this is how I feel. Like, I want to have my own individual things. I want my man to have his own individual things. And then we come together. And he's like, I like that. That's my cup of thing. I like my woman who's not clingy, and that's independent. She do her thing. I do my thing. And they agree on that. But then the conversation changes to what? What do we all know Corbin for? What does Corbin request for all the time? He wants a smooch. He wants a smooch. So he asked Melanie, can I have a kiss? And she's like, no. She said, out of respect for Sincere and Kenzie, I'm not kissing you. She said, I would like to have a conversation with Kenzie, and we're going to continue exploring. I want to let her know that this is what we're going to do. We're going to pull each other for more conversations to get to know each other. And I'm not kissing you until Kenzie knows. He's cool with it. They leave say less, right? So then Melanie meets up with Aniyah to give the rundown of what just happened between her and Corbin. They're sitting on the lounge chairs near the pool, I think it is, right? The pool and then like the little gym area. And she's like, I just pulled, Corbin for a chat. It was a really good conversation. He was always been an eye interest in interest. I have had an interest in him, and I think we're going to explore each other. And as they're sitting down, she tells Aniyah, like, listen, don't tell Kenzie. Let me tell Kenzie. And I'm like, everybody views her as a gossiper who can't hold water. And I don't like that for Aniyah. I think Aniyah is so much more than that. And I need Aniyah to pull back from that. I really do. I really, really do. I don't know. Maybe she needs to be a little bit standoffish with the people when they're talking to her. I don't know. But her narrative needs to change. It really does. I don't know. Anyway, so she tells him, she's like, I'm going to tell Kenzie that we're going to explore each other. And I want to tell Kenzie that he tried to ask for a kiss, but I told him no. So as she's telling this story, you get Sincere and Soul upstairs. I think they're talking about a story about a dog, and he tells his story about his brother and a dog. And as he's telling the story, he stands up and he's really animated, so Melanie can see them. And she's like, look, they still in soul ties. She cannot believe that they're still in soul ties having a conversation after an hour. And she starts to get upset. She says, this man has not checked up on me. He is doing what he said he wasn't going to do. And she just gets really upset. And she said, you know what? I'm going to pull him. And what Aniyah says, yeah, go pull him. So then Melanie gets up and she walks over to the stairs to get to soul ties, but Casey peeps her. And Casey's like, what are you doing? She's like, what? He's like, come downstairs. Where are you going? I'm going to the makeup room. He's like, no, you're not. Come down the stairs. Allow him to have conversations with Soul and let him figure out if it's exactly something that he wants to pursue. He said, don't start anything. Just come down. And so she walks away and he tells Aniyah, he's like, yo, go with her. Handle that. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, she already agreed to Melanie going upstairs to pull him. But then when Melanie was going upstairs to pull him, Casey stopped and she's like, yeah, just relax, Melanie. Aniyah, I don't know what's going on with you, baby. I don't know, but I need you to change this. I don't like it. I don't like the narrative around you. I just don't. It's killing me. I need you to be stronger. I need you to stand 10 toes on your own views. And if it's not the same, if it doesn't align with Melanie or whoever, voice it. If they don't like it too fucking bad. That's what I need you to do. I need you to stop being a yes man to everybody. It's annoying. It's annoying to see. So they go back to the beach chairs, the lounge chairs, and she is crying. She is pissed. And here comes Bia, and Bia's like, what's going on? She's like, he has not checked up on me now once in the whole day, and he's been up there with her for over an hour, and I don't understand. He said he was gonna do it. I like crying. I'm just sitting here like, okay, all right, girl. No ways. And Bia is trying to reassure her, trying to give her a pep talk. She's not listening. So what does Melanie do? Melanie overly dramatics herself, and she gets up and she runs towards Doc and say less. Nobody cares. So anyway, after that, where are we? Now this is where we're gonna get. So now we get in those little like layered stepped couches. We get Kenzie and Kayda. Kayda be spilling beans too. I don't think a lot of people realize that, but she be spilling beans too, and she need to stop as well. We focus more on Aniyah, but Kayda does it too. So Kayda lets it slip that Corbin tried to get a kiss from Melanie. So they pulled each other and he tried to kiss her. Now let me backtrack a little bit because this is how Kayda finds out. Bea pulls Corbin for a chat, right? And they have like a really like good friendship conversation. And he lets it slip that he is going to explore Melanie, and he tried to get a kiss from Melanie. So that's how Bea knows, and then Bea told Kayda. So that's how that became, right? So when Kayda tells this to Kenzie, Kenzie is pissed. She is pissed. She's like, you know what? Then I'm off him. I'm not gonna explore him anymore. I'm done. And I don't quite understand why she's upset about that, because she's exploring Caleb. Not only are you exploring Caleb, you've been kissing Caleb. So why are you upset that Melanie and Corbin are exploring? There's not many bombshells in the house. So what's going to happen? It's going to start going to the OG girls. So, and you already knew that she was kind of liking him and vice versa. So I don't understand why you're so upset about that. Whatever. So it's evening time. Everybody gets ready for, the nightcaps or whatever. And then what happens? Melanie pulls Kenzie because she wants to let her know what's been going on. So she pulls her over to that little nook area and she's like, I don't know if you know, but, me and Corbin pulled each other. She said, yeah, I know. And she said, that he asked me for a kiss. She said, yeah, I know. And she said, you're supposed to be my friend. And that really, really hurt. And she said, yeah, but like, you know, you said you guys are open. I've been liking him, and out of respect of you, because you're my friend, I wanted to bring this to your attention. And then Kenzie goes, "Well, I don't understand why you're supposed to be with Sincere and you're not trying harder with Sincere." Because Melanie does mention to her, she's like, "Well," she said, "I think this connection with me and Sincere is done." And Kenzie goes, "But you're not trying hard enough." Kenzie, don't do it. Kenzie, don't do it. You are so threatened by any of these women of color to take your men or your men. It is utterly ridiculous. What do you mean she ain't trying harder? That's all she's been doing. That's all she's been doing. All the drama in the house is her trying. You just mad because you might not have a roster anymore. That's why you're mad. And it's ridiculous. But they end their discussions. She said she's hurt. I really don't care, to be honest with you. So now we get a discussion. This ending is crazy, y'all. So now we get Bryce, and he's talking to Sincere, and he wants to let Sincere know that he is going to pull Kayda. He thinks that there's something that might be there between him and Kayda, and he want to kind of, suss it out. But before he does that, he wants to talk to Zach, and he wants to talk to Trinity, and Sincere's like, yeah, do what you got to do. So then Bryce pulls Zach at the beach chairs. Bryce pulls Zach at the beach chairs, and he tells him, he says, listen, like, I know we're buddies and things like that, but he said, Trinity is my number one. He said, but I've always had like a little thing with Kayda. For Kayda, he says both Trinity and Kayda are my types. And he said before he fully invests in Trinity, he wants to see what's there with Kayda. And Zach is so rude here, right? He is laughing the whole time. He's like, "Are you serious, mate? Are you serious? You're trying to pull my girl?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "To be honest with you, I think Kayda's gonna laugh in your face." And he's like, "Well, maybe she is, but I just want to try." And he's like, "You pretty much, you could do what you gotta do what you gotta do." He said, "But I think this is not gonna look good for you at all." And so they get up and they walk away. Bryce pulls Trinity and he tells Trinity. Before he does that, Trinity is telling him, because she's been saying this all fucking day. She's been saying, "I really like Bryce. I really, really like Bryce. I really, really like Bryce. I really, really like Bryce." And she tells him, she says, "I really, really, really like you." And he says, "Listen," before like he really fully, I guess, commits to her, he says, you know, he had interest in Kayda and he's going to pull Kayda for a chat. And when I tell you, it's very subtle on Trinity's face, but you could tell Trinity's heart just drops. And he said, "Well, how do you feel about that?" And she said, "Well, I ain't fucking with it." And that's where the episode ends. What do y'all think? Y'all let me know down in the comment section. You guys, if you're watching, please make sure you like. And if you have if your way of thinking is not the same as mine, tell me down below and we can have a discussion. If you guys would like to subscribe, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. That's your dose of drama for this week's reality report. The show may end, but the drama never. Catch you next time for more chaos, more tea, and more reality.